Hey, this is John Crowley from UTV Guide. Just got back from Sand Hollow State Park in Utah for the side-by-side adventure rally, and we brought our Can-Am Maverick X3 Max, big four-seater, and did a bunch of rock crawling. So this isn't the first time we've taken our four-seater rock crawling. Earlier in the year, we took it to the Rubicon on a camping trip, and it's also been down to Johnson Valley and done some trails. But this is the first time at Sand Hollow, and my first thought was that I was gonna kind of regret having to take the four-seater there, but let me tell you, it was the best thing I ever did there. This car is absolutely amazing in the rocks, and Sand Hollow has a lot of waterfalls and stair steps and that kind of stuff. And it doesn't require as nimble as a vehicle as I thought. So the ups and downs that are really kind of sketchy with a two-seater and this thing were just incredible. And I was amazed at what we did with this vehicle over the last 3 days of rock crawling. We also did Torqueville Falls which isn't really rock crawling, but another trail on the last day while we're at the side-by-side adventure rally. One thing we did do is we added the factory UTV rock sliders and UHMW skid plate. The rock sliders on this vehicle, if you are going to rock crawl, super important, because otherwise this plastic on the sides on the rocker panel, which is a huge rocker panel in between the two tires, gets really beaten up. And with these rock sliders on there, it does a great job protecting the plastic, and the skid plate protects the underside of the vehicle. For rock crawling, it's super important to keep your belly off the rocks. And one of the easiest ways to increase your ground clearance is by swapping to a larger tire. For this trip, we used a System 3 off-road XCR 350 tire. These are a 35-inch tire, and they're mounted to a System 3 SB5 beadlock. One of the negative consequences of swapping to a larger tire is the impact it has on your gear ratio. Thankfully, the X3 has a great low range, and Can-Am really has this figured out so that you have no belt slip. This vehicle came with a 30-inch tire stock, and even though we swapped to a 35, the low range is super low and can handle that with absolutely no belt slip. So you're in control of how fast you want to go over these technical obstacles, and you're not governed by worried about your belt slipping and having to go fast just to make sure your belt doesn't explode. to help for rock crawling. We did the dual rate spring kit from Shock Therapy. It's a little bit better spring rate. It's a dual rate setup, so it'll handle the bumps better, but also it helps get that ground clearance up and the ride height where it should be. Underneath here, we've got the HCR suspension, and these are tougher than stock and able to handle the abuse. Once you hit a rock and everything, it's not going to fold on you. So extra tough to be able to handle the beating things take there. We've got Rhino 2.0 axles all the way around from Super ATV, and we also are running their heavy duty ball joints on there. So that's kind of what we did to beef up the suspension, the drivetrain a little bit to be able to handle the abuse a little bit more. So we've got this set up for our adventure rides. We really didn't need that for this trip. You know, we've got the Alpine Designs set up with the Rotopax fuel cans, and the trays back here. That just allowed us to carry, you know, an ice chest and some camera gear and some tools and everything to have. Inside the car, we're running PRP seats. And what was really nice, it was pretty chilly in the mornings and at night. So we had heated seats that you can turn on. And that's super nice for those cold mornings to be able to take the chill off. And it's really, really nice to have that, you know, your backside warmed up when it's cold. We are running the Assault Industries tire carrier back here. These flip up and allow you to have access to the trunk area, and that's really nice. Down below we've got the TMW storage tray and bag that uses the quick connect things from Can-Am, easy in and out. And it's really nice having this extra storage back here for tools, and all those sorts of gear back in there. This vehicle also has SDR Motorsports bumper up front and roll cage, and that just kind of, you know, adds a little bit of strength and style to the vehicle. And we are running Baja Designs lights, LEDs all over the place. A little bit too much if you're going to run for a long time. It does take a little bit more than the stator on this vehicle can handle, but it's nice to be able to see. You know, some guys were following me because I had more lights, and it's nice just to have that when you need it. We've also got Assault mirrors and also steering wheel, which is nice. The other thing I can't stress enough is radios and intercom. Everybody in our group had radios, and it's super nice just to be able to say, hey, turn here, watch out for that. You know, the big rock on the left you got to worry about. So really nice to have radios to be able to talk not only to your passenger with the intercom, but also car to car. If you haven't put a radio in your vehicle, seriously check out Rugged Radios for all that kind of stuff. One other thing is we did do a little driving on the street in Utah. This vehicle is set up to be street legal. We've got the XTC Power Products turn signal kit, and also the hazard lights and horn that get you everything you need to be able to drive on the street. And I am plated in Montana. One other thing we have added on this vehicle is Walker Evans Racing. These little guys are Walker links, and what this does, it's attached to the sway bar, and it gives you a little bit of play. It's like a little mini shock absorber. So your sway bar isn't disconnected, so it still handles sway control, but it's got a little bit of give before it really kicks in. And so that'll give you a little bit more free play in the rocks. and give you more articulation. But the other thing it does is it helps the two rear tires act independently in the rough little chatter bumps, and helps that situation out a little bit. Back in the rear of the car, we do have ZRP radius rod plate, and also their dog bones. These little guys are really cool. They actually help keep your radius links in place, because they strengthen everything, but they keep them in place because there's got a misalignment spacer built into the dog bone. So all these radius links attach to their misalignment spacer that's built into the dog bone, and helps keep side to side everything in the right place. Really cool product, and not that expensive, and it, helps beef everything up and keep it in the right place back here if you're abusing your equipment.